All right, we'll go across to DD India's Akshay Dongare. He has more information on this. Akshay, Pakistan launched multiple attacks across the western border in the intervening night of May 8th and 9th. What do you make of the action India has taken so far in response to Pakistan targeting Indian military assets in at least 15 cities? Also, missile and drone attacks by Pakistan targeting key areas in Jammu.
Well, let's talk about Abhishek first, the preventive measures that were taken by the Indian Army, and that was to repel, several drones and missiles that were not headed to one particular direction. They were headed to hundreds of kilometers of borders along with India and Pakistan, especially the borders along the Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, that is the LOC. So clearly what we saw last night was an exceptional counter attack as well as an exceptional defensive capabilities when it comes to modern warfare, and it is even more superior to how Israel prevented the attack from Hamas, because Hamas was launching rockets, whereas what we saw last night was Pakistan launching several very technologically equipped missiles and drones. So it's not easy to catch such a large number of drones and missiles coming your way, and that too at a very, very broad area of prevention. So that was done. In fact, it was done last night as well, when about 15 cities were targeted in the cover of night by Pakistan, and all the attempts were thwarted. So clearly, what we are seeing right now is a clear air superiority. India has clearly dominated Pakistan as far as all of its operations are concerned, and now we wait and watch that how consistent and proportionate the counter-offensive by India is going to be. Because India has made it clear that any attack, any retaliation against civilians or any other area of the country will be responded with a lot of force.
Also, Akshay, what do you have to say about India's diplomatic outreach in the last few hours? Dr. Jaishankar speaking with the US counterpart, Italian counterpart, EU counterpart, and making it clear that India will not be the first to initiate or escalate, but if provoked, and if attacked, it will not shy away in giving a befitting response.
Well, that is the message to the world. While the foreign minister has spoken to Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he has spoken to the European Union, he has spoken to other counterparts and allies. One thing has been made clear, that the message is to the rest of the world that when it comes to India's internal affairs and its own security and securing its integrity, India is not going to take lecture, or it's not going to take preachers very lightly, and it is going to respond with full force as far as protecting its sovereignty is concerned. So the message has been loud and clear that India's response is going to be only proportionate all the time. However, if provoked, beyond a red line, then the world should not be blaming India later as far as its attacks are concerned.
Also, Akshay, many airports have been closed, and it must have led to massive disruption in air traffic with Indian carriers cancelling many flights on Thursday. Do you have any information on this?
Well, many airlines have, yes, stated advisories that due to the ongoing and prevailing situation, which is rapidly changing, there will be inconvenience to the passengers, and there will be certain issues at many of the airports, especially in the north and western borders. So that is operational preparedness. You cannot risk lives, in the name of just operating airlines, because those airplanes can be easy targets for Pakistani drones as well, and that also the airstrips can be targeted. So that is why, as a preventive measure, the Airport Authority of India as well as the Civil Aviation Ministry has taken these measures, which will going to, yes, create some problem for the passengers, but it is nothing if you compare it to the hardships that are being faced by the men and women of our armed forces.
Also, Akshay, India has been responding, and the response has been measured. India is also saying that it will take up the matter with the IMF in its meeting on Friday as well, talk about putting pressure on the FATF also to grey list Pak all over again. It's time to tighten the noose further?
Well, absolutely time to tighten the noose, as well as when it comes to World Bank and the IMF, the organizations that have been bailing out Pakistan time and again as far as its own bankruptcy is concerned. They will have to do more as far as tightening up this noose is concerned, because you cannot keep on giving money to a country that is asking to be bailed out, then the same country launching such a massive terror attack like Pahalgam, and then launch such a massive attack against a nuclear armed country like India at its all borders. So clearly all of those drones and missiles that Pakistan is launching must be costing millions of dollars, and that money could be used instead of fighting a war and supporting terrorism to solve the internal economic issues, Abhishek.
All right, Akshay, thank you for the timing, but yes, we'll keep taking updates from you. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with Indian External Affairs Minister